I am so excited right now because you guys decided to click on this video and tune into another most amazing top 10 video. Well, I'm your host for this one, Landon Dowlatsingh, and welcome back. Before we get started, I want to know, where the heck are you guys from? Let me know in the comment section below. Us here at Most Amazing, we're from Toronto, Canada. That's where we film. Although a lot of you guys think that we film in the UK because we have these two British people on this channel as well. So let me know where you're from in the comment section below because I'm curious to where you guys are watching our top 10 videos from. And take a picture of yourselves watching and send it in to us because we'll post it on social media. Okay, so for those of you guys who are in Europe, you might be surprised to know that this continent is full of scary and creepy urban legends. You guys love these urban legends, so we've just overloaded this whole channel with them. And let us know what urban legends you guys would like us to do next. So the urban legends we're talking about have been scattered all throughout Europe and have been told for many years. So I'm not making this stuff up. Maybe someone else did though. So prepare yourselves with this one. This is the top 10 scary European urban legends. Let's kick off this list. Number 10 with a domovoi. These creatures are said to protect your home, only if you keep them happy. Over in Russia, it is common belief that every house has a domovoi. These are very small, hairy, ugly creatures that are rarely seen, but they're usually living behind your stove or in dark areas. If you treat these creatures with respect, leave them treats, and say nice things about them, they're going to protect your house. But if you ignore them, leave your house in a mess, or constantly fight with your family, then they will destroy your house or strangle you in your sleep. I don't know about you guys, but if I had a house in Russia, I would keep it the cleanest damn thing ever. So make sure you guys in Russia watching right now, go clean your house. The Greek soldier marches into number 9 on this creepy list. This creepy urban legend originates in Greece, and it is about a Greek soldier from World War II who was captured, tortured, and brutally executed by other Greeks who disapproved of his political beliefs. He was tortured for 5 weeks, and then he was eventually murdered. After his death, stories about a very attractive Greek soldier in uniform would appear and disappear overnight. His goal was to seduce young, beautiful widows or virgins and impregnate them. 5 weeks after the mother gave birth to the baby, he would disappear for good, but he would leave a letter that explained why he disappeared. The letter said that his main goal was to return from the dead in order to spread his seed so that his sons will eventually get vengeance on those who murdered him. I mean, this just sounds so morbid and pretty damn dark. Let's just move on. The Hostel urban legend. We're going to be talking about that. It's going to haunt us in at number 8. Have you guys ever seen the movie Hostel? Well, it's about college students who are backpacking through Europe. This is why I'm afraid to backpack. Well, one of their stops was in Amsterdam. They decided to rent a room at a hostel that was known for their partying. Well, they found themselves in a terrible situation full of torture chambers and murderers. So yeah, this movie was inspired by the Hostel urban legend in Europe. According to the legend, hundreds of people who backpacked through Europe each year, they would mysteriously just disappear. Some people speculate that they are held in a torture room by a sick and sinister murderer, and others say that they were cut up and had their organs sold for money. A lot of people believe that this urban legend is so true that many of them stay in hotels while in Europe, but I'm starting to think that hotels are the ones that are starting this urban legends to, try to generate more money. The spider bite nibbles onto this list at number 7. This extremely disgusting urban legend surfaced in Europe during the 1970s, but it is still being circulated around the continent even to this day. Basically, this urban legend used people's irrational fear of spiders, and this will discourage them from visiting exotic countries in the south. So this urban legend gave a lot of southern countries a bad reputation that they were either unclean or very unsafe. In the story, a young woman travels to an exotic location for her vacation, but during her trip, her cheeks began to swell, so she decided to cut her trip short and to return home in order to get some medical treatment. When the doctor examined her cheeks, he inserted something into her cheek that caused a dozen spiders to come out crawling. I mean, is this real life right now? If I saw all those spiders coming out of my cheek, I would probably faint. If not, I hope I would just pass out because there's no way I would be able to handle that situation. According to this legend, a spider had laid eggs under her skin during her vacation, and when the spiders came crawling out, it caused this woman to go insane. Well, can you blame her? I know this is just a story, but it's still pretty scary because you imagine like this could actually happen. The Smiley Face makes its way onto this list at number 6. Don't be fooled by the name of this urban legend because it isn't a pleasant one. This story was heavily circulated in cities across Belgium in 2002, and it is about a gang or single man who would follow a woman home from the subway and attack her in an abandoned alleyway. The gang or this man would give her a choice. They said that she can either be raped or smile forever. Seems like there's an obvious choice, so the woman easily picked the second option, but it resulted in her mouth being sliced open at the corners all the way up to her ear that it kind of resembles a clown's smile. I mean, this would be incredibly painful. I couldn't imagine that actually happening to someone. I'd really hope this urban legend is just a legend and it's not actually a true story, because this would be a really bad form of torture. The Strigoi bites its way into number 5. Alright, so this urban legend originates in Romania, and I think by that you'll be able to guess what this urban legend is about. If you guessed vampires, you'd be close. However, the Strigoi are much more intense and hardcore than Dracula will ever be. This urban legend states that the Strigoi are almost like a hybrid between vampires and werewolves. So similar to vampires, they like to stalk the streets at night, but what makes them more powerful is that they're able to shapeshift into any creatures they want. So yeah, basically they're unstoppable. They can also make themselves invisible. Okay, so now that's not even fair. According to one legend, a Romanian girl claimed to have been visited by a Strigoi that took the form of her dead uncle. So the family decided not to take any chances, and they actually dug up his grave, cut his heart out, and burned it. Yeah, I'm not sure if those were the steps that I would take, but I would strongly consider it for sure. The death car crashes onto this list at number 4. This urban legend is famously known in Poland as the Black Volga, and this story originated back in the 1960s and quickly spread throughout Eastern Europe. This legend goes something like this. There is a Black Volga that is driven by evil priests and nuns. Black robbed Satanists, vampires, and even the devil who would abduct people, and then they would be sacrificed to evil spirits. People have claimed that they've seen this car driving around Poland, but instead of having mirrors on the side of his car, it had ram horns. The modern version of this urban legend claims that the Black Volga is driven by gang members or thugs who abduct people in order to harvest their organs and then sell them to the rich, Americans or Arabs who suffer from terminal illnesses. So the moral of this story is, if you see a Black Volga, you might want to run for your life because you could be the next victim. The Boogeyman tiptoes into number 3 on our list. I think it's safe to say that almost every country has their own variation of the Boogeyman. I know for me, the Boogeyman, he lives under my bed. I'm not sure what he looks like because I don't dare look underneath there at nighttime. But if you're going to be talking about the Czech Republic's version of this, they refer to their Boogeyman as a Bubek. That's what they call the Boogeyman. He is supposed to look like a terrifying scarecrow and makes chilling sounds of a crying baby in order to lure his unsuspected victim. That's one of the most creepiest things ever. When there's a full moon, he weaves a cloth from the souls of the people that he has stolen, and he drives a cart that is pulled by cats. The Bubak's main target is misbehaving children, but he doesn't discriminate. He is it to eat anyone or anything that is foolish enough to cross his path. So I guess what I've learned from this urban legend is to not wander around creepy abandoned places when there is a full moon. I'm gonna do it when there's a half a moon. And if I ever hear a crying baby, I'm just going to run the other way. Okay, not really. The Gryla claws its way into number 2. This horrifying urban legend takes us all the way back over to Iceland. And after you hear about this legend, you probably want to avoid driving to Iceland during Christmas time. And that's because Iceland created a terrifying creature, and this creature is named Gryla, who is a giant troll with hooves for feet and has 13 tails. This creepy looking figure is always in a horrible mood, and she is constantly hungry for children. During each Christmas, Gryla comes out of her cave in order to hunt for misbehaving children. Once she finds them, she stuffs them into her sack, drags them to her cave where she boils them alive and adds their dead corpse to her favorite stew. I mean, what the heck is being taught in Iceland? Just tell your kids to be good. Don't be making up some urban legends crap for them to behave. I bet you this is pretty effective. I bet you everyone in Iceland, all the kids are like so behaved. Okay, the White Death brings us to number 1. I think we've done it again. I think we've saved the best for last. last year. This is an urban legend that originated in Scotland about a little girl who hated life so much that she wanted to destroy every trace and evidence that showed that she ever existed. I mean, this is some pretty messed up stuff, pretty deep. One day she decided to commit suicide in her bedroom, and shortly after her family found out that she was dead, strange things began to happen. Every family member died within a few days after they discovered her body, except all of their limbs had been torn off. The legends say that when you learn about the White Dead, this little girl's spirit will find you, knock on your door until you answer. Each knock gets louder and louder until you finally open the door. But when you do, she will brutally murder you because she is scared that someone will tell someone else that she exists. So basically this little girl is very sinister and will stop at nothing to prevent people from knowing about her. So I guess we're all kind of screwed now. If you hear knocking at your door tonight, I suggest you guys don't answer. Yeah, I'm pretty freaked out right now. Well, there you guys have it. I'm sorry about that one. Hopefully you guys can sleep tonight. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys next time.